Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot at startup funding and investing. In applying for a grant, consider these factors. Set aside time for writing the grant application. It takes over 300 hours to properly write an SBIR grant. Make sure you're giving it the time and attention it requires. Understand the grant review process. Each granting organization has its own criteria and will judge grants accordingly. Consider a grant writer. Most grant writers can advise and propose, but ultimately the content for the grant comes from the researcher. Understand the grant contract. Grants come with specific criteria for the use of funds. Make sure you understand the expectations of the granting organization. Understand grant matching requirements. Many grants require matching funds to be raised. It's important to understand the rules around the matching process. How much matching funds is required? Will in-kind labor substitute for cash? If so, then document the time spent on the project. Consider these points when applying for a grant. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start hustling today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.